eSportsBets.com, the service where gamers will bet real money on virtual events. Only here, the best odds and widest coverage of games from Dota 2 to Hearthstone. We have over 200,000 users registered. Join us. Prove that you are the best versed in esports. Who will get the first blood? Who will take the first Roshan? Who will win the knife round? Participate in the race of predictors and earn real money. The more bids, the more bonuses. Reward for your first deposit up to $600. eSportsBets.com. Foresight, passion, and calculation.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're live here from Kiev Cybersports Arena, and it's time now for really the keystone of the day, I think it's fair to say. This is a best of three, EG on one side, Secret on the other. These two worlds will now collide. Winner moves on to the grand finals of Starladder Season 10, guaranteed a crack at first place, and they'll have the one-game winner's bracket advantage, which Starladder still offers. Of course, I'm LD. Joining me for this game to my right will be Merlini. Hey, Ben.
Hello.
Game one's underway, and I think we'll be hopping into it momentarily. So you think it's a dead 50-50?
I think it's 50-50, but if I had to make a score and a prediction, I have a feeling Secret's going to do really well, actually.
Okay.
I think I'll just say 2-0 Secret.
Make it interesting.
Make it interesting.
And they are very confident. That's something I'll say about both teams. EG don't get phased easily. We were talking about it with Charlie last night when we finished at like 3 a.m., went to get some food after the game, and they weren't rattled at all, apparently, after that Na'Vi Pudge game. A team that's a little bit less experienced or doesn't have as much self-belief could have been phased. They weren't, and certainly the same is true for Secret, just given their track record and just the confidence that players like Puppy, S4 have in themselves, and I mean Big Daddy, their ability to deliver. So the draft gets interesting. For EG, the Razor was first phase banned, but it means that it opens up the Arteezy Death Prophet. So we see a lot of heroes given away that we were discussing maybe you don't want to. The Brewmaster given away to Team Secret. EG did not ban the Shaker. They leave that in the pool. They removed the Wisp, of course. That's not a surprise. And the Ogre. In return, EG will snap up the Batrider. It's normally not a go-to first phase pick for them, but then they get the Arteezy Death Prophet, which is much more standard. And Secret, heavy team fight. Fly will again, or Simba will again be playing that Tidehunter.
Looking at the draft, Secret banning out the THC, I feel like that's the most important hero in the stress that EG run when they want to push towers with like the Veno plus THD, tons of damage over time, damage that you don't really expect, as well as great tower pushing capabilities. I feel like without those two, they can't really go to their like Dragon Knight plus mass push.
It's also a great mech carrier for them, and or just someone who can get the early ults and be a tanky frontline initiator, depending on how they want to itemize. With this Bat Death Prophet, they don't really have anyone to build a mech, so if they do want to push early, then they'll have to find a third hero that can fill that void.
And it's really difficult to push early into a Brewmaster and Tidehunter, and at the same time, they really have to just rely on the Death Prophet ultimate for the damage, just because no like Timbersaw or anything like that available to them unless they want to do something wonky. But Team Secret, maybe go back to the Sven. Looks like EG not really too scared about it at all.
They actually ban out the Enigma. Of course, they have a very capable Enigma player in their in Zai, but well, they even have the first pick coming out of this phase, so they don't want to go for it. And they don't want Secret to have even more overwhelming 5-man team fight pressure. Secret also, well, with this said, will ban out the 2 defensive supports in the second stage, though, not the first. They remove the Abaddon as well as the Tree. That leaves PPD's, I guess, less popular options. The Dazzle we see once in a blue moon. The Omni Knight also pretty infrequently. Shaker, not a healer, but yeah, definitely a strong defensive support. And they also will ban out a Spectre. They don't want to get out team fought, and it seems they don't want to get out late game.
It's interesting that Secret bans out the defensive supports of the Tree and the Abaddon. They're not scared of the offensive supports, and maybe just scared of Death Ball or just want to fight offensive versus offense, which is going to be a very interesting one. And EG going with the Sand King, I'm actually super surprised that we haven't seen a lot more Sand King in this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, look at how much he's been getting picked in China lately.
He's
VG
amazing.
Gaming, like every game, it's a Sand King for FY, and he does work with that hero. It's kind of similar to the Enigma, where he just disappears in the jungle, comes out, and starts to do a lot of damage. But, well, we'll see. Third pick now for Team Secret. They've already got their team fight control. We still need Kuroki's hero, as well as their 2 supports. And this is a little bit unusual that they haven't picked up either support. I mean, you go back earlier this tournament, it was a lot of first or second pick Mirana, sometimes the Wisp, sometimes the Big Daddy Ogre Magi, but they've completely changed up their draft order.
I think it's going to be aggressive supports. They can take advantage of the passivity of Sand King, and sometimes they try and match the greed of Sand King by going Enigma, but that's been banned out by EG. Alternatively, they could also go for a Chen, but I have not seen Puppey play Chen in a very long time, so that leads me to believe that they are going to go with more offensive supports. Brewmaster matches up decently versus Death Prophet in the middle lane. Not amazingly, but decently enough that you can get a kill. Enchantress, maybe?
There's a Skywrath Mage for a strong aggressive ganker. He's actually been ignored so far.
Yeah, Skywrath could also be taken up by EG. It's pretty scary in their lineups. Definitely needed for a burst for Brew.
Yeah, and it kind of fills that nice niche of a fairly independent support that PPD can play. They'll go Keeper of the Light, though. There's a Terrorblade out there. This is the last time they ran this Keeper of the Light. I believe it was either a Medusa or a Terrorblade. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, those are the two big hardcore.
It's usually Dusa, I'd say. But I mean, EG have a lot of ways to close the gap. So if they're looking for an anti-push, Keeper of Light is not the best solution here. So I think it's more synergy with the recall as well as instant offensive, or not instant, but a huge offensive burst with the Keeper of Light that they're looking for rather than your typical sit behind the tower, channel illuminate, and defend towers. Just because once they get the blink daggers.
Oh, Silencer picked up. He could be the solution to the combo. Aghanim's Refresher Silencer right now probably gives EG the late game, assuming they run this as a core, especially with a Bat Rider. Like, you global and jump in, and Secret will be powerless.
Tidehunter is actually pretty good versus a Silencer, though.
Yeah.
So, Team Secret probably want to go for a BKB carry, I want to say, as opposed to something like Anti-Mage, who might get wrecked by the Silencer. Not really any good ones come to mind, though.
Let's see. Secret. Dusa's out there. Terrorblade's out there. You want someone who can BKB, or at the very least who can work in like a Manta style into their build. Do you think it's going to be a core Silencer? I guess it would be Fear's Hero if they ran it that way. Be pretty greedy to run this as a support.
I don't really think PPD plays Sand King that much, though. And these are both Zai heroes when they're played as support, so it leads me to think that it's going to be a Fear Silencer.
Oh, they will go Anti-Mage. So, Monovoid could be big this game against Silencer and Death Prophet. It does. EG are decent at dealing with split push, though. They've got the Bat, the Sand King, and they have the Global. But Kuroki got out of control in the previous match where they played against Tigger. And EG are unlikely to contest him early with this draft. They'll be looking more for the mid-game pick-offs and takedowns once they get their Blink Daggers on Bat, Sand King, and have their Global ready. So Kuroki should get his early farm looking at the draft.
I wonder what Big Daddy's going to play, too. Could be Shaker. I mean,
Shaker would be pretty good because like they don't have any lockdown from the Keeper of the Light, really.
There's no really other obvious pick, too, for Secret. I'd say
I think you ban that if you're EG.
It would stand to reason that you would. Sand King Silencer is actually, very potent. Just blink, Burrow Strike, and then channel Epi. They can't do anything until like Tidehunter gets BKB or someone gets a Yule Scepter, which they don't have any carriers. Anti-Mage gets his Manta Style or BKB. Probably aren't, neither of which are going to happen before 20 minutes too. So it seems like EG's draft is slightly stronger at this point.
Their late game is also very, very potent. Silencer, Natural Hex Carrier eventually, so too's the Death Prophet. And they have plenty of, actually, I'm not even talking about the Death Prophet silence, but they have that as well to deal with the Brewmaster. There's still a Skywrath out there, and it feels like that could be the final piece here for EG. Another silence, another hero who's good at bursting the Brewmaster down before he can split. And someone who can create space while the Silencer and Sand King get their farm.
They don't have a front line, though. If Secret tries to take a lot of engagements before Sand King and Bat Rider have sufficient farm, I think that could actually prove to be a problem. Because Brewmaster and Tidehunter can just walk up to them, and then really what are they going to do? Silencer will be like okay at stopping that, but I think Secret can just play super aggressively on Evil Geniuses in the early game, or just wait for really good opportunities for Blink Tidehunter ult on the Silencer every single time. So I think Silencer has his work cut out for him this game.
They left the Earthshaker in the pool. They actually banned out the Bane instead.
I don't think Bane's a great pick here at all. There's so much disable.
He's not going to be able to channel a grip this game. There's Global, Death Prophet Silence, Flame Break, Lasso, and Burrow. And the Skywrath band is there for Secret. They go Lifestealer, so it is a support silencer most likely.
Lifestealer's really good here. They actually don't have
The return of the
Bat
Batrider bombs. Man, it's been a while.
Yeah, I think Shadow Demon would be really good for them. Counter Lifestealer and Bat. Elder Titan will be the last.
The no-tail support Elder Titan. The last time we saw this, they basically had lost the game and only came back because IAP just fell apart trying to snowball an 8K gold lead at 5 minutes.
I must say, I like EG's lineup a lot more. Although I think the Silencer and Sand support is slightly greedy. Artesian Universe and Fear, just really strong on these 3 heroes.
Yeah, it is a bit of a greedy duo, that's for sure. But at the same time, so too, Secrets are at least passive. Maybe not greedy, but fairly passive. Keeper the Light can harass. He's not going to be ganking too much. And, well, looks like a lot of players should get their farm early on. The Anti-Mage, the Batrider can go to the woods if need be. No one really to pressure Arteezy's Death Prophet mid lane. He'll be left mostly unchecked early on. We're probably not going to have too many big clashes until the mid game. This looks to be a very mid to late game oriented draft for both teams.
At the same time, mid game might start as early as Blink Dagger on Batrider, which may come at, what, like 8 or 9 minutes?
That's true.
For Universe. And they don't really have good supports to zone them out. Elder Titan with Boost First, not that great at doing so. Keeper Light is mediocre with 600 range and 350 move speed, but not your ideal one like Skywrath Mage, which may prove to be very troublesome for old Simba.
Here we go. Team Secret, they'll have the crowd with them. Some fan favorites here on their team and some players from the old Na'Vi. No-Tail and Fly are well liked here in Kiev, and they'll be on the Radiant side. Secret come in looking strong. They took down Taker 2-0 EG. Oh, maybe have a level 1 clash. Let's just see. The Solitary Glaive thrown out. They skill up Sticky Napalm, and Universe is going to go in, but they got off a nice Illuminate onto Universe, as well as the rest of EG. They're forced back. The Stomp for Big Daddy completely off the mark. Hits nothing. He still walks in. They all get cursed. And then the turn goes back the other way. All right. Both teams flexing their muscles, just letting the opponent know that they're ready to return fire.
Both teams also dropped in Reserve Reward in the fog, so both have vision.
Fairly similar locations, too.
No one knows that they have vision, though. So.
All right, let's introduce the lineups. We've got Zion, his Sand King, PPD, your support silencer. RTZ, as always, it seems, on the Death Prophet or Razor Mid. This time it's a Death Prophet. The Batrider will be in Universe's capable hands, and Fear will be playing an old hero in the Lifestealer. As for Team Secret, you've got Big Daddy No-Tail. Last time he played the support Elder Titan, he gave up a First Blood in a very unusual way, but it seems that will be avoided. You've got Puppy on his Keeper of the Light once again, making Cuddle Guy very happy if he's watching. Kuroki will be your Anti-Mage, going to the safe lane. S4 on the Brew mid. And that does leave Simba on a hero that he's really stepped up to the plate on for Secret. I feel like he's made the biggest plays of anyone outside of Big Daddy on this team in this tournament. The 2 Fnatic players have been, for me, and possibly the stars of the show.
I feel like he can't really do that much versus a Lifestealer, though. They have no stuns aside from Ravage and maybe the Boulder Toss from Brew, if you can count that, or Mana Leak, all of which are very situational. And I don't know, if Fear gets a really good start. He started with 250 gold after Stout and the Tango, so he can either go very aggressive, Boots plus Orb of Venom if he wants to try and pressure the Tidehunter, or just simple Midas into Phase Drum's Armlet.
Big Daddy did go for that level 1 Stomp. He claps the wave, but Universe has quite a wave stacking up. He already hits level 2, and this is the main downside to that support Elder Titan. You really cannot zone out the Batrider at all this early. Kuroki should do okay first farm. No Magic Stick picked up yet, but not really under too much pressure. It does seem overall, as they look for a potential Burrow Strike top lane, Zai will go for it. He actually brings Simba quite low. He hasn't used his Anchor Smash just yet. Looks like he's trying to bait, and Curse! Yeah, there you go. We'll hold it. That was close, though. That's a salve down. He's only got 3 tangos left. Look at the aggression from Universe. Like, on the one hand, you've got a Tidehunter nearly dying. On the other, you've got Universe going hard on Kuroki, hits level 3, and just unfazed at all by Big Daddy. The off-lane traits clearly seems to be in EG's favor for now.
And this level 1 Stomp certainly not helping him out. He actually hasn't done any damage to Universe. Universe might actually be chasing him down with the clarity on him.
What's the rune going to be? He's going to stop for a Stomp. Universe dodging that. He gets 5 Sticky Napalm charges up, and it's not the right rune for him. It's a bounty rune. First Blood may go to Universe. Up the high ground. He gets it. Oh, my. Oh, my. Secret, we've got a problem.
I am not sold on this Elder Titan support. Even though Big Daddy, I think, is a fantastic Elder Titan player, he just offers so little in the early game. Simba able to leech some experience finally on the back of an Invis rune. But, I mean, Batrider, we talked about his Blink Dagger maybe being an 8. It might be even earlier with this.
He's got 900 gold. And it's not like he really needs a lot of regen because, well, Big Daddy is going to come in and punch him a few times, but overall can't harass him too much on his own. He drops the Spirit, he goes for the Stomp, and this time it will hit Universe. Uh-oh, do they get a turnaround here? He's out of mana, and he's pretty low on HP. Kuroki only having level 1 Blink. That would have been a nice trade-off for Secret, but instead it's just a free fountain trip for Universe. Still good to get him out of the lane at least a little bit. And let's see, has his jungle been stacked yet? No, they have been. Oh, they have stacked this camp. But for the most part, they've been very diligent about trying to keep the Tidehunter of Simba down, who is a level and a half down on the enemy Batrider. He's about to hit 4. So, looking at the other lanes, we've talked a lot about the off lanes, Ben. Mid lane so far. Start off good for S4, you got an early lead, but now it's pretty much even. Just farm here. What's your thoughts overall on the other traits? The mid lane, the safe lane farmers?
Mid's going to be a wash. Brewmaster or Death Prophet rarely yields anything. Prior to 6, Universe playing a little aggressively on the creep wave. Kiro taking a lot of damage.
That turn speed's slow, man.
I think it goes without saying that bottom is already a huge win for EG, getting a kill on the Elder Titan as in a 1-on-3 lane.
And just pressuring Kuroki. Like, he's not farming nearly as well as Fear. Already down 8 CS. You look at how he's farming yesterday. He was like 8, 9 CS up on the enemy safe laner.
And Simba is just level 2. That's 1 creep wave's worth of experience.
He's going in again. He has Firefly ready. Napalm begins to stack up. I don't know if Universe is fast enough to kill this. He continues to chase Big Daddy. Oh, he's actually got a Ghost working with him.
Well, he also has 10 sick charges, or had 10 sick charges.
Oh, that's 6. Maybe he does dive this Firefly at the ready. Universe, he does the math and decides he wants to go for it. He will barely get clipped on the Stomp. Big Daddy, though, well, that allows the sticky Napalm to cool down. This aggression is just, they can't punish it because they have a Keeper of the Light support off in the jungle.
Yeah, at the same time, he's out of mana. I think it was smart for him to use all his mana so he doesn't take that much damage from feedback, but can't keep up any pressure with that. Still, he's not missing out on that much experience. Creep waves push up to his tower, no big deal. Zai about to stack up another camp. Let's see if he gets some more Mud Golems.
Yeah. No Mud Golems yet, but just Ogre Bruisers. There. No, good luck for him. I guess the only issue here is they're stacking the jungle, but Zai also needs that. And now he will level up Sandstorm and go for it. It's a Midas for Fear. At the same time, Kuroki will build towards his Battle Fury. Universe back into the bottom lane. He has gone back for a bottle. With this Midas on Fear, I guess there's not that much point in Rushy or Blake because you don't have anyone to gank with you early. So it's good synergy as far as EG's item selections go. They'll hit their timings, or when Universe gets his Blink, around that time, Fear is going to have like his first decent item. The Phase, maybe the Makings of the Drum, something like that.
And on top of that, they can switch very, very quickly. Lifestealer can move into the jungle once he hits level 6. PPD can soak up the lane and get Global Silence, and Zai can just stack the big camp and Sandstorm that. So it's not like EG's really losing out in terms of efficiency anytime soon.
Bottom rune will be secured by Universe. Doesn't look like Big Daddy can get in, and instead they'll go for the top rune. That will be the haste. Bounty rune picked up. Arteezy about to claim his phase boots. They're going to leave this haste rune for S4. This could be a big one, Ben. They've not been off to the best start. Now they're down 1,500 gold. A little bit less experience, but with this, S4 may be able to find Zai and at least prevent him from farming these neutrals. He does pin it out, but who's going to back him up for this? Well, that's some stolen neutrals. That's a very sad Zai. Didn't even use the haste, just walked up.
Yeah, not that big of a deal for them. He does get the experience. Sand King getting that smoke of deceit, and that's early. I wonder who they're going to make a move on.
And who's he going to go with? There's
maybe Anti-Mage? I think they can smoke around, stun him during nighttime, and then with Flasso, maybe they can kill him. That's ambitious.
Yeah, he's got the Rain of Health. No plus HP items yet, though. He's fairly squishy. But already that value point in Spell Shield. Maybe he just holds this for now, waits for a better opening.
They can't kill mid. Brewmaster has haste, has his ulti, and also Oh, man. Zai.
Oh, Mimio on the jungle, though. It's S4 with the haster and jumping onto PPD. He's found that support silencer. And, oh, maybe can't bring him down here. It looks like the disarm proc still chases, though. And while that was happening, they lost Big Daddy, so it's a 1-for-1. The Zai smoke works out. But Secret at least able to get on the board here a bit. Lasso is no mana. No, never mind. No lasso ready.
No silence either on them. Brewmaster's too tanky to take down. I mean, Fear's farm is ridiculous, using Rage on towers to get even more damage on it. And is Fly resorted to stacking Ancients? Yes, he has.
Early on, EG continue to push that lead a bit further, but it's just not out of reach by any means. Around a 2K gold lead, 2K experience lead. 8 minutes in. The big timing for them will be getting their global and PPD, which is still a little slow, as well as getting the Blink Daggers on the 2 initiators. Zai at a 19 or 1500 gold, and then your Bat Rider for Universe a little bit lower. Arteezy going in on S4. He splits at the last possible second. The Ghost returning a little while from now. I don't know if they can actually get this kill. They're going to try for it, though. They leave a stomp at the ready. The drop down comes, but Zai, although he's there to counter initiate, he's too late. Really nice chain stun from Secret. And Zai just keeps on walking in. He'll kill off the Brew as the split ends. He probably pays with his life here. He does. Now the lasso from Universe, pulling Big Daddy into the tower, which is focusing him. And with the stacks up the sticky napalm, he's going to chase back the other way. They're still not involving anyone else from EG. Firefly laid over the top. One more auto tag would do Big Daddy in, and there you go. So in the end, 2-for-2 exchange.
Universe continuing to make big plays on this Bat Rider, and this is prior to Blink. Imagine once he gets his Blink Dagger. My goodness.
They just did not zone him out early, and since then he's been out of control. And it just goes back to their lane. It's just very weak against the Bat.
Yeah, super weak. With the Kato, it's slightly predictable how they're going to play, unless they have a support that can play aggressively, such as Shaker or even something like Sand King, which EG is currently in possession of. And Zai, speaking of Sand King, very close to his Blink Dagger too. So him plus Bat Riders will come out just a couple of minutes on the same time. Secret will have theirs on S4. So 3 Blink Daggers hitting the deck, and the only loner who won't have it is Tide.
Big Daddy did get good levels, though. I think he was involved when Puppy was clearing some of those stacks. He hits level 6, and still you're waiting for your PPD Global. He's only just now clipped 5. Same as the enemy offlane Tide, so we do see at least one hero struggling for each team. Though more so the concern will be this Tide Hunter. Haste-room bottom, it's bottled up by Universe. He's just too fast to the draw again. I mean, some of it's just fortunate timing, but getting the haste rune, being in the right place to rotate, keeping this pressure up constantly on Kuroki, who's a solid, what is that, 18 CS down now on Fear's Lifestealer.
I mean, 18 CS doesn't sound like that much, but with the Midas, it's 1,400 gold difference.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Lifestealer can hit very, very soon. With those Blink Daggers coming up, Anti-Mage still needs like another 10-15 minutes.
They could begin preying on Kuroki, and the only solution to that will be very good anticipation from Secret. Being ready with the teleport, or maybe TP scrolls are even too slow. Being ready with a Ravage behind him, perhaps the Brewmaster split to counter initiate, but they don't have a good defensive support. You can't really count on Elder Titan. He takes a while to get that stomp off, and certainly Keeper of the Light won't offer much.
They certainly won't, and on the flip side, EG has a lot of burst. So even if they are sitting there, they can't stop the Lifestealer if he rages immediately after an infest, and like,
they have the global, so even if they're in the right spot, you can just global and potentially kill him anyway.
things are looking really bad for Secret as it shapes up. 3,500 gold lead for them, about to be about 5,000 after this tower.
Fear will miss the last hit. Still, his armlet is nearly done, and that's probably going to be the go time. Around then, PPD will hit level 6. Zai has level 7. He's only got the 2 burrow, so he probably needs to farm a bit more before he's fully combat worthy, but his jungle's just constantly stacked up here. Currently with golems, not ideal. Arteezy's going to try to steal them, but Zai, he'll trot back towards the mid lane. They want to make a smoke play, and they've got that haster in that Universe snagged earlier along with the double blink. They head towards bottom. Global won't be up for this. And on the flip side, like, Fear is just not afraid at all. If they try to go on him with Ravage, he just rages. Same if the Brewmaster splits, and there they go. Onto the bottom lane, Epicenter onto KuroKy. They will look for the silence. He's not able to blink out. EG just systematically dissecting Secret early on. Now the armlet claim, this is before the Lifestealer gets active for these ganks. Now the Global's online. They even TP'd in PPD just to give them that experience. Just everything going their way right now.
And they're just playing very cleanly, and I wouldn't say it's completely unpredictable, but it's not like Anti-Mage can live in constant fear of it. He can't farm the jungle that efficiently either without items, and S4 searching for a good place to use his Brew ult, but there's nobody in the bottom lane. He used it once already and got picked off by Zai afterwards, so, I mean, just things are going terribly for Secret.
And KuroKy just canceled his TP bottom. A bit of a misclick there. So now he's got to walk out lane. It's not the biggest deal, but it's just one more thing slowing him down. And it's not like, you know, Ben, something that you were touching on the draft, and I think given how the game's developed, we want to expand on a little bit is it's not really like KuroKy is safe to split push freely. Like you look at the game against Tinker, there wasn't too much lockdown to kill him. This game, there's so much. Global, Lasso, Lifestealer bombs, the Burrow Strike. It's so dangerous to be split pushing.
And even Epicenter is going to do a lot of damage too when he's not high enough level to max spell shield.
Blink out. I'm not sure if S4 noticed this, but they blink in after him. Almost catching him out. They were on the smoke, but it wears off now. Do they still chase? I'm not sure. Oh, S4 is just kind of hiding near the tower. He could get caught out. Zai ready to commit. It's Universe once more over the top on S4. They global to try to secure their retreat. Another clean pickoff for EG. No trades at all except a little farm for KuroKy.
They don't even need RTZ for any of these things. He's just free to farm wherever he wants, use Exorcism on nothing or towers if he so pleases. And
they're not done.
Yeah.
They can find Big Daddy now, too. Burrow strikes. Zai's going to trap in the Big Daddy. He ain't so big anymore as far as EG is concerned. They maul him into submission. That's a tier 1 down mid. KuroKy still unable to force a tower, and Arteezy arrives with his Ghost. He'll deter the push there. It's all EG all the way. 7-3, but it's a lot worse than that. Down 7,500 gold. No clear comeback unless EG overextend into their team fight combo.
And this Lifestealer pick has just done wonders for EG. PPD pulling that one out of the bag is just fantastic. They have no solution for it. Maybe Tidehunter can like anchor smash him, but in terms of actually killing him and preventing him from killing anyone, I don't think so.
They're going to need like a Basher on the Anti-Mage with a Butterfly later on to have a shot. But that's looking so far down the road. And at the rate we're going, Fear might have an Abyssal before there's even the makings of a Basher. He will now pick up his Belt of Giant Strength. Very interested to see what direction he goes with this. Could be that Sanj and Yasha to just keep on pushing the advantage. Could be a Basher rush. He's got options here.
15-minute Force Staff and Blink Dagger from Universe. 4 kills on him. Oh, S4 gets recalled to the mid lane. They're smoked up, looking to make a play.
It's let's see, how obvious is this one going to be? EG sitting on pretty good wards, one near the mid, one near top, and they might get Zai caught out here. He's got his Blink ready to go. They're wrapping around him. He shows himself with Sandstorm mid lane. The Sand King already has his Blink, though. It's not the biggest kill, but, well, they'll take what they can get. As Illuminate comes through, he burrows out. Zai will be run down. A nice pushback from Puppey there. Great use of Blinding Light. Secures the kill. That will give Simba his Blink Dagger. But it's the Sand King already got his Blink. Yeah. And now Puppey's in trouble bottom lane. Fear just walks onto him and munches him.
Easy kill.
Maybe it's a bait. They do gush him. He's got an Infest, but he doesn't. No, he's not going to be able to use it. Boulder Toss will hold him in place. The Global was too late from PPD. Far too late, actually. Yeah, that was like a full second and a half late.
It was a nice try. He also could have infested a little bit earlier, but he didn't anticipate that rotation coming out from Secret. So they do have some fight left in them, but at the same time, he picks up his Basher.
16-minute, 9.4K net worth, 124 CS. Only 2-1-1, but looking to get a lot more involved. KuroKy is slowly working towards that Battle Fury, but this is, Epicenter top lane. We're going to have a little go. Zai on S4 with no split to get him out. They counter-initiate with Ravage. Zai has not enough backup, perhaps. Universe will come in and secure the kill, but they may lose more. EG underestimating Secret. had too many heroes at the point of attack. That ends up being a 1 for 3 over the past 2 engagements. While Arteezy uses Exorcism mid, but that tier 1's already down and can't really push for more.
And Arteezy already has his core items, his drums and yules, and now Brewmaster actually has to be very scared. If he gets initiated upon with the Yule Scepter, he's probably gonna die, and they can just global to counter the Ravage coming out from the from Fly. And I don't know, even though these past couple fights have been pretty scrappy from EG, it's only because they're caught out of position or mismanaged their spells. It's not because they've actually fought in a 5-on-5 and lost due to lack of experience or lack of items.
Yeah, scrappy for Secret, but yeah, EG are strategically. It's still a matter of an anti-mage who doesn't even have. Well, Joel just got his Battle Fury, but still doesn't have his Manta. Still will be vulnerable for a long time to the global. Even at that point, there will probably be an Abyssal Blade on Fear if he goes straight forward, or even with the Basher, you might get the 1 bash with the Rage during the lasso, and then you get the kill. And it's before Arteezy's really joined the fights. He's not the most farm hero, but he is quietly getting there. And he will offer them a lot of late game, and they jump in mid lane now. They gush Zai again. Burrow strikes there.
Hero.
At the same time, they're working on Kuroki. Lasso will finish him off. They're still chasing Zai. They got their stop off. They lose the anti-mage top. They can't tackle the Scorpion mid. That's costly, and Zai goes back in. Arteezy's there with the silence a little bit late. Zai got a little overzealous. And no back. There was no exorcism there. That was pretty aggressive considering they didn't have. Well, actually, they did have global, but no lasso. No lifestealer in the neighborhood. Still, they kill the anti-mage again, though.
Yeah, that's big. He just dies in a lasso with how farmed lifestealer is, and him going for straight damage like this instead of any sort of survivability, no drums, no Sage, let's say, and he just does way too much damage relative to anti-mage. Anti-mage, only 8 armor on him.
He's just rumbling around towards the mid lane. Maybe we'll farm. Oh, he wants to go in. Fear thinking about it. Arteezy thinking about it. But nobody going.
This Force Staff will actually be one of the only things that will help them from a Infest gank with the Sand King. Not terribly useful versus the Bat Rider Infest, but useful nonetheless, and that is compounded by the fact that EG does have Global Silence. So they need BKBs, they need Manta Style on Anti-Mage, they need items that can deal with that. They haven't been the most properly typed from Silencer, but if it does come, I don't know, Secret can get wiped in the teamfight if they don't pop very preemptively like S4 did on his Brew earlier.
We may have a big clash brewing. Secret are smoked up, but no, they're not going to Roche. Never mind. No clash at all, just split push attempted. Kuroki will blink in. Tier 1 is 1 hit from death, and there's no glyph. So the glyph will not be refreshed. EG go back to defend their Tier 1 mid. That's also low to dropping, or close to dropping. It's quite low. So perhaps something that Kuroki will claim, and that may get his farm back in this game. Still feeling difficult to deal with the Lifestealer problem, and still Global will be the trump card. The BKBs are not even being built. S4 is going towards the Vlads, it looks like. The Tidehunter, of course, does have Kraken Shell, but well, Big Daddy, and that pretty much leaves everyone else out. They're not going to have any BKBs for a while.
Simba stacking up the Ancients. I think at this point they just give it to Kiro, and it's important that he does have his Force Step, but he needs to catch up at this Lifestealer at some point. He's like a basher up on him right now, and on top of that he has the Midas, so his farm is not going to be slowing down anytime soon. Gold discrepancy in between those two at around 3,000 gold. And he really needs a Manta Style, so the silence doesn't bode him. It's easier for him to dodge Universe's Lasso, and just helps him farm faster in general, and split push.
As for EG, they have a nice lead, Ben. Where do they go from here?
I think just capitalizing on the ganks from Lifestealer plus whomever they want to pair it with, Sand King or Bat Rider. And I think mostly they need to be able to use the globals to better effect. Like on the left side, it would have helped him TP out if he had just used it a tad bit earlier.
Yeah, he was like, I guess, a second or second half late. But it was kind of an unexpected counter engagement. And he'll be looking more towards the fights now as they smoke and run right into Kuroki. He just used his blink, and they go in with Zai. Burrow Strike to start. Silence #1 to follow. They use the global too. The lasso's going to follow this up, and Kuroki is
Did you see that
wrangled and brought down
range
again.
on that lasso?
That was
It's got like a vacuum effect to it sometimes.
What the heck? He like 4-stepped him away, and then he pulled him after a 4-step. That was like a 700 range.
I think it might have latched like as the 4-step happened, maybe. I don't know. Lasso's a weird. Sometimes I feel like it has a vacuum attached to it. Kind of similar to Cogs, where it just seems to pull you in. Oh, that's unfortunate. They lose Kurogi again. Compare this to the game versus Tinker once more. Did he die that game? It was like maybe once or twice.
He died 3 times.
Yeah, that was with like 14 kills by the end of it. He's 1-3, and he's not taking towers. Still, the tier 1's up mid lane. The tower's up bottom. It just goes to show how much pressure they exert on the map. He just can't safely split push.
One hero that's also felt very ineffective has been Puppy's Keeper Light. He can't really zone out a Batrider. He definitely can better than an Elder Titan, though, and they chose to use him to stack and farm experience in the woods as opposed to an Elder Titan, and I actually think that hurt them a lot.
Arteezy will use Exorcism bottom lane. And Secret, in the meantime, grouping up elsewhere on the map towards mid. There's a glyph ready for EG. Might as well pop this as creeps are approaching. But Secret aren't actually going there yet. They Exorcism the tier 2 bottom. Looks like they're going to take it uncontested. Kuroki off farming with Simba close behind him. He has completed his Yasha, working towards the Manta. Tower mid still stands. It's in deny range, and they've got a glyph. I imagine they're going to pop it. Yeah, there's your glyph. While at the same time, Zai comes in. He's got a Burrow Strike. Invest Bomb, and Kuroki, even with the 4-step going down again. A 4th death for him. And now they're chasing in.
Without Rage, without Abyssal, too, on Lifestealer. So they have tons of overkill for him.
And they're going to find more here. Puppy gets lassoed. I mean, at the same time as 4, barely able to TP out. Puppy will be dead for sure. And actually, it seems like the bleeding may end there for this engagement. No, maybe not. Big Daddy being pursued out. Zai with a Burrow Strike already ready. He heads to the left. Big Daddy heads straight south. But with an open wounds Abyssal, yeah, that's a dead Big Daddy. Doesn't even use the active. He just right-clicks him down. As my computer is now shutting down, apparently. So I guess we're going to the Russian stream. Yeah. Lovely. Give working PC, please.
Not too much going on, though. I mean, EG just proceeding with the Infest Bombs, and Kuro is just super duper vulnerable. He hasn't made any progress on his Manta Stallion. Even if he does get it, they have the Abyssal already on Lifestealer. He is out of control. Almost.
Wait, what does he have?
Abyssal Blade.
Wait, what does he have?
Abyssal. It's ridiculous.
It is a really fast Abyssal Blade.
I like how
I just thought it was funny how you're saying it.
Fear went for straight damage, too, and lockdown for, oh boy,
Oh, they've gone on S4 here. Use the global to engage. They had an Epi, but now they're looking to retreat out. Maybe this is an opportunity for Secret to turn it. They'll lose Zai Sand King again. He's actually died quite a bit. He's he's one of their more elusive heroes, and now the chase goes the other direction. Fear is scrambling. Universe running down the river. They do see Secret backing off. And Secret aren't going to try and force this too much farther. Well,
they did have a nice 4-step on Brewmaster, and I think if Puppy gets a 4-step too, their increases of their chances of survival during the global silence increases 2, 3, 4-fold maybe if they're in good position. And I mean,
he's just so far behind, though.
They just have to stack Ancients and give it a little bit more to Kuro. I don't think Fly can stack him anymore. He has a lot of gold, 1750, so maybe his Refresher can come into play. He has 0 death, 1, 0, and 5 on Fly, largely ignored this whole entire game by EG, just going for the far squishier target.
EG are roaming through their own woods, and Secret are on the smoke, it looks like. 4 heroes grouped up and headed towards Fear. They don't have a way to kill him unless they stun him before he rages, though, and that's tough.
He can just rage TP.
Yeah, or he can rage and fight. And in fact, it looks like he might walk into them right now. They go in with the Ravage. They got him before he's able to rage, and he just gets bursted down. They actually managed to get the jump. Great Observer Ward placement by Secret to set that one up. That's how you got to kill this Lifestealer. That's the only way to do it.
And that's one of the downsides of not going like Sindri
A tankier build, yeah.
Race car build. But I mean, I definitely think this was the right build for him this game.
It's helped them kill the anti-mage at least 2 or 3 times, where without a bash, perhaps he lives. Not to mention all the damage you get from the Abyssal. I'm still really waiting to see Arteezy fully involved in a team fight. He's just been in AFK farm mode, which is fine. I mean, he's their best late game. But
he's still been taking towers, too.
Yeah. Well, Universe in the meantime gets caught up by a gush bait. He's got a BKB. He's the gem carrier. He has to use this BKB to retreat. But EG may give up another kill if they're not careful. Oh, the Firefly ends. He's got to blink out. He'll use it. They brew split for this as well, and they continue chasing on Universe. He force staffs away to the right. Global was used, but it's after that boulder toss, and they have a lot of follow-up on Arteezy. Flame Break, can he make his way out to Global just right enough? Great escape. Oh my, that was very close to losing more. And PPD also able to TP out everyone from EG surviving outside that Lifestealer. That could have been a lot worse.
If they hadn't killed Kuroki so many times, he would have had his Manta style, and he can Manta and the Mana Void, and they get a really big kill on Death Prophet there. So all these small ganks on Kuro has added up. 4 deaths on him. EG
got to be careful, though. Like, they're getting a little sloppy, and Secret are very good at punishing those types of mistakes.
Yes. Yes, they are.
Reconnecting into the game. Hopefully we'll have the camera back soon, but Zai goes in. And on to Simba, he'll go, gets the bash off, or maybe even used the Abyssal Blade. Yeah, he did. Kraken Shell procced it, and then he just died anyway. Another pick-off for EG. That's the strength of their lineup. They are not really the best 5-man lineup on paper, but with Global and the Rage and Fest bombs, pretty much any target can be brought down.
Just forget split pushing if you're not anti-mage, and even anti-mage has to worry a lot too. And Fear definitely has the resources to go for an MKB. If Anti-Mage goes for a Butterfly, if he goes for a Heart, he already has Feast to naturally counter that. Not an easy situation for Hero. Still managing to find his farm. 12,000 net worth, a little bit above Bet and the rest of the heroes in the game, but still eclipsed by Death Prophet, who's been farming the whole entire game with only 1 death. And she's actually not as far ahead as the Anti-Mage that I would expect.
All right, looks like we've got the camera back, and, well, S4, Invis now. He's got, man, is he poor or what? Just the Vlads and the Blink Dagger. 2,400 gold in the bank. But EG have just done such a good job of shutting down this Brewmaster pick overall, and, you know, it's one thing that the Batrider dominated the offlane. Given the supports that Secret picked, I suppose that was a likely possibility, but they just haven't gotten as much value as what they're expecting out of these big team fight initiators. Fly on his Tidehunter and S4, oh, caught out. Abyssal Blades here. Does he get the evasion procs he needs? He's got a split ready. Don't know if he even wants to use it. He just gets munched down regardless. They save the Abyssal for a bit later on, and Fear will collect the kill.
I'm a little surprised Fear's picking up the Hyper Stone to the AC as opposed to the oh.
Chase on to the, oh, Jesus.
That's a gem.
Splat.
That's big.
And they already have 1, I believe. Yeah, they've got a 2nd gem now. And into the pit they'll go. They used Exorcism very close to it, but no Roshan. We don't get the timer since we reconnected.
Again, I'm surprised he didn't go for the MKB. Very good versus Brewmaster, and will immediately counter any Butterfly pickup that Kuroki wants to go. And as I said before, Heart's not that good either.
This is pretty good against Elder Titan, although he does have some plus armor from his armlet already. And he's usually on offense, to be fair.
Yeah, I think he only dies if he has his Rage on cooldown, and there's not really like a small buffer that he needs. It's not like a matter of 1 or 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's going to be like he's either going to get Ravaged and then burst it down, or they're going to be killing him while his Rage is off cooldown, and the 200 or 300 HP isn't really going to save him.
Now EG farming up the Secret jungle. Secret on the other side of the map. Rogi continuing to clear out weight camps, and finally we'll work towards that first, I guess, luxury item after the Manta style, if you want to call it that. But at the same time, they're into the Roche pit for EG. Can they crack the base with this next Aegis Ben, and should they try to, is the question right now.
They don't have to. If they see a good opportunity to do so, I don't think EG's under any sort of pressure right now. Lifestealer still has room to grow.
They found him. Look at the gap close as they jump in deep with Fly. Fear right next to him, attempting with the pushback for Puppey. Now he monoleaks, and then Fear gets onto him anyway. Rage is down, but he gets the bash again. Oh, he got stomped first. The Burrow Strike from Zai was just a split second late. They may still chase. Ravage is ready. Counter-initiate here onto Fear. Global is used rather late, and the Anti-Mage will bring him down once. That's your Aegis down. Epicenter being channeled in the tree line. Where's that Burrow Strike follow-up? It goes straight onto Kuroki. He gets Yulesed up in the air. This will break the silence, though. He gets lassoed as a follow-up. He got off his Monovoid. Finishing off Arteezy. Can they finish him off? He's low. He blinks out on just a shred of HP, 60, but survives. Oh, my goodness. Kuro making the great escape. That Yules might have saved him.
Well, they didn't want him to blink. They wanted to get another silence or an abyssal on him from Fear. But at the same time, that very timely Yules by the Brewmaster, or Cyclone by the Brewmaster onto Lifestealer, saved his life.
And we do see that Fear is pretty vulnerable when he doesn't have BKB. They have a lot. These Ravages have been pretty well timed overall by Fly.
Well, they also tried to go for a very difficult target, too, at the start of the fight. So if they go for like a super squishy target like Anti-Mage or Elder Titan or Keeper Light, the fight goes a lot smoother. So the pressure is on Secret to just make sure they aren't caught out, and Anti-Mage still has to keep up his farm even with his pain and death coming to him from all angles with Sand King and Batrider.
So they lost their Aegis, and there's a jump in mid being thought about here, but not actually going for it. The other thing is that Kuroki is starting to pull up the farm charts now. He's up to 5k gold, and this is where if they get some map control and confidence, they can just get him active on the map. He wants to buy his Eagle Psalm. He'll do that. So he's going to get evasion versus the Lifestealer, and this really presses that issue of needing an MKB on Fear. As soon as the Butterfly's out, he could struggle to get these kills. They're also not building a Hex, nor will they be, probably until late game, if at all.
Yeah, Lifestealer, 1860 HP. Not the most tanky of Lifestealers, but still packs quite the punch. Question is, can Brewmaster actually survive it? With his BKB, it looks like it. At the same time, he still can get silenced or bash locked or abyssal from 100 to 0.
They smoke and they head down the middle lane. They're showing Zai for now, maybe hoping that Secret will come to try and fight him, but actually Secret are all backing off immediately. Anti-Mage retreating out. Kuroki will rejoin his team, and they head towards bottom. They ping directly on top of EG.
I think they saw the smoke with their obs in mid.
Okay. This one?
Yeah.
Still prowling. They're actually all going to rotate to the top lane. 5 heroes for Secret. Dodging out from this gank, because I will just farm the lane instead. And well, their ganks are not coming quite as fast and freely as they were when this game started, Ben.
Secret doing a good job of placing those wards, and I'm surprised they didn't actually see it with the gem. That ward has been there for almost the entire duration, too.
It's kind of it's like in the middle of the map type of spot, too. But I guess we haven't seen too much Firefly in that region. Fear marching in. He had open wounds, but couldn't get in range, and they are doing a pretty good job of protecting Kuroki, who now has completed the Butterfly, and he goes straight to the side shop to buy it. Anti-Mage is gearing up to combat status, and if he gets an Abyssal from here, he may be able to fight even the Lifestealer head on.
Does Arteezy need a sheep at this point?
He's got 1,400 gold. Oh, they're moving in towards top. Global's ready. Everyone backing off into the tree line. Observer planted down by PPD. It is actually in range of the Sentry, but currently no Radiant Vision of it. And they go in with the Ravage again onto Fear, the insta jump. He can't even rage. He thought that he was safe with his team fairly nearby. That is the 3rd time that Fear has been punished by the instant blink Ravage, unable to rage in time.
Simba making the big plays yet.
They're not done yet. They found another hero. This is a BKB, and it's going to force out a Fear buyback. The split push was coming. They get the stomp off. Fear buys back into what? He's going down mid. Do they just decide enough's enough? There's no Ravage. There's no Brew split for 70. At the same time, already S4 knows exactly what he needs to do. He's headed on a mission, a not-so-secret mission top lane. He's not their fastest split pusher, though, and Kuroki's only pushing in bottom, which is not near the base. He's going to have to come defend. Doesn't have a teleport scroll. Arteezy will immediately feel that sense of urgency, look to break high ground. They pull in Puppey. Burst Strike from Zai whiffs because they pulled Puppey in so far. The Air Splitter connects, dropping Universe low. This forces out a buyback from the Keeper of the Light. At the same time, Assassination on the backside. And they Burrow Strike as a Global to follow that up. Kuroki gets 4-stepped away. The Ghost Pound into him, though. He will end up dropping. Oh, and that is leaving him with the buyback. He'll use it immediately. As they chase forward, looking for chance. They lost their Batrider. They also lost the Death Prophet. Exploded towards the end of that fight to the Tidehunter. And now they push PPD back in. He'll drop 2. This was after a Lifestealer buyback. They still can't break the base.
Gem hit the deck. No one sees it.
Where is it?
In the trees. Right where he died.
Oh, no. Who's got a gem right now? Nobody?
Batrider died. He passed it as Silencer, and then Silencer died.
Invisibility.
And yeah, left it there.
Meanwhile, there's a Refresher Orb recipe. Secret just got double Ravage. And they're also pushing in mid. There's no global. Can EG actually fight without global?
Well, Kiro doesn't have buyback, so they have to be really careful.
But there's also no Death Prophet, and this Lifestealer also doesn't have buyback. It looks like they will play it a bit safer. Keeping all the lanes pushed in, they rotate back into the Radiant jungle, or the Dire jungle.
Oh boy, Fly has Refresher.
Yeah. I just said that.
I mean, that's very nice of him. Very nice farm.
Yeah, that's a really strong team fight for Secret.
The way the game has been going, it's very difficult for him to initiate on like 3 or 4 heroes, which is usually what you're looking for as Ravage. And he's been playing it right. He's just looking on a kill on the most important hero, which is Fear. And Fear's been farming the lanes because they feel like he is much safer in the lane with Rage, and RT's been farming the jungle. But at this point, with Fear going a glass cannon build, as weird as that may sound on Lifestealer, they've just been picking him off. I think if he just sits back and they de-ward the lanes, which EG should have been doing a while ago with the 2 gems at their disposal, they should have been able to retain map control. But Secret outplaying them again in this top area, which is exactly what they did in
Oh, they found Kuro, though. No buyback. They munch into him enough. He's low. He ends up manting. They get off their global, but they still lost their anti-mage. Ravage #1 was used. They've got a second. They're just going to keep on trying to fight this one out. The Lifestealer is low as well. Both carries die back. Who can win from here? There's a secondary carry on EG and Arteezy. He's holding his BKB. He's holding his ultimate for now. And everybody on Secret scatters as this brew split wears down. Man, a double dieback on the 2 carries. You don't see that very often.
You do not. Lifestealer is... he just can't escape after his Rage. I think they might need to start using 4 staffs on him. They have 2 4 staffs on their team, and he should be able to escape some of these fights unscathed given how farmed he is, but he's only died 2 less times than the anti-mage.
Who has the edge now, do you think, with the 2 carries on the sidelines?
Still EG. They have the Death Prophet, which is massive, and they don't really have a good way to take her down, especially with her having BKB.
Yeah, as you were mentioning, no Ravages, no brew split for 40. Arteezy's found his opening, perhaps. The Spirit will go on to him. He's got a BKB if he needs to use it. They'll blink clap. That brings him low. He's got a BKB here soon. He just Yules immediately. Our Universe hunting for something. The BKB still being held. He doesn't actually break the base, and he took too much damage, so he's got to retreat out. That looked like a window to take a lane of Rax. No Ravages, no Anti-Mage.
The Elder Titan was...
The Elder Titan Coddle combo is doing work.
Yeah, it is really good at his high ground defense, and as poor as it was in the mid game, it really turns around later in the game, especially when they're down.
They also finally see the Roche. So Roche will respawn. Both teams will have their full complement of heroes back. Still no buyback on the Lifestealer for 2 minutes, no buyback on the Anti-Mage for 3. So there could be a Roche fight, and if there is any time in the next minute or so, then nobody will have a buyback as far as carries go. There's a Brew buyback, Batrider, and Elder Titan.
And Secret have like better buyback heroes because they can always get recalled into a fight.
That's
unless,
true.
Of course, Keeper Light dies immediately, and Batrider does have his boost of travel, but usually he's not going to be the one to drop the first in the fight. Usually Lifestealer is, unfortunately, for EG. And it really hasn't seemed like the Silencer has been as effective as one might expect given the draft. It didn't really help that much in the early game. A couple of it was due to timing issues rather than the hero itself. And then in the later game, it hasn't seemed to have done anything either. Brewmaster always splits very early on in fights. Even if he gets global, he just BKBs and then splits.
And there's no refresher, so... I mean, and that's just not going to happen this game anyway. He's just looking for a 4-step at this point.
And Tidehunter is... not that he's like immune to global silence, but he's not going to die during it because he can just Ravage.
EG's still scouting out this Roshan with the courier up on the high ground and also sitting very far back in their base. They have that Fear buyback in 1 minute. He's infested right now, unlikely to die, at least at the start of the fight. This gives him a free way in. Finally, Arteezy will tank up a little more, picks up his Reaver. They move towards that Roche pit, 42 minutes in. Game 1 of Secret versus EG is headed towards the late game. And it's still really anyone's game, Ben. Gold is very close. It's a 4,000 gold lead for EG, pretty minuscule at this point. A 3K experience lead. Both teams have strong late game team fight. Both teams have great pickoff potential. Both teams have hard carries. And they both can have more room to farm on everyone.
Yeah.
This could go a lot longer.
At long last, Anti-Mage has caught up to Lifestealer.
There's a Dire Observer ward here. That lost gem from earlier might come back to haunt them. I'm not sure if they saw the actual smoke, but EG are generally in position. They managed to mono-league. There's an instant Ravage. Arteezy BKB dodged, but PPD had no solution for it. Now they go in with the Epi. 4-staff forward. Commitment for Kuroki, and they get the lasso. Can they kill him off? He's going to be dead for at least another minute before his buyback. 45 seconds. Now they chase forward. They've used one Ravage. They don't really have too much left in the tank. Arteezy now turns in rage against S4 and tries to finish him off with the Ghost. Slowly, not so slowly any longer, working on that Earth Panda, even popping to Shiva's guard. But S4 returns. Oh, too late. He couldn't blink out in time. He's still being kited and controlled, and EG finally find that team fight. And it came without a global silence. It came with Secret getting the jump. Great BKB dodge by Arteezy.
That was so crucial to that fight that he BKB dodged it. And it was kind of good that PPD was way out there, and he did scout out the smoke immediately after it was right before the Ravage.
Right.
That allowed Arteezy. If Arteezy were up there, he would have died the same way that Fear died, unless he has ninja fast reflexes, which we've seen a couple of times actually.
Yeah, now they get Aegis and the cheese as well. That's picked up by Arteezy, and they infest again. They're going to Boots of Travel to the top side. Fly's already backing off, though.
Lifestealer going for the BKB.
So no MKB to deal with the evasion, but he's just been getting ravaged too much, I guess.
Yes, he has been.
So with this, you've got the first rage, then you BKB, and then you'll have the secondary rage. Gives him a maximum of, like, basically 20 seconds of magic immunity, right? 22.
Relatively close. There's still 3-second downtime in between the rage wearing off and from one.
And the second rage, yeah. So there will be like that 3-second window, but presumably just with the first rage and the BKB, you have 16 seconds to win the fight.
Well, at the same time, he shouldn't be forced to blow that many cooldowns at once because they should have defensive force stabs covering his ghoulie self.
Secret. It's just it's a low percentage, not a low percentage item, but an item that you see rarely on Lifestealer. Normally it's, first of all, normally you win the game fairly early with this here. At least that's the historical trend.
Or do crippling damage. That is just irreparable.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's not a bad choice, though, considering what he's up against. Would still like to see that. You could still look to replace your armlet, maybe your phase boots at some point in this game. Fear still has a little bit more room to farm. He's still ahead for now of Kuroki's anti-mage, but Kuroki's gearing up more for like a hardcore late-game anti-mage. Heart's on the way. So close, man. It all hangs on a knife's edge now. This is only game one, too. This will be a full best of 3, and the loser will have a shot at redemption through the lower bracket finals tomorrow.
So let's see the smoking coming out from EG. Headed out. No tower in the mid lane. Kuro actually on the edge of the precipice in the mid lane.
Kuroki, close to being spotted out. They Firefly and they go in. BKB was available from Universe. He's going to force step back out, though. So they miss on their opening there. These illusions will.
Nice awareness by Kuro there.
Yeah. Secret in general were very keen to the fact that EG were likely on the smoke. They were sticking together as 5 in the top lane. This seems to be like the safest area of the map for them.
They love that area.
They keep on running. Like, whenever they see a smoke, they run up there instead of hiding in their base. Because they want to get out on the map, but they do not want to get caught by the EG jungle invasion. So I guess it's the best place for that.
Well, and the top T3 towers at like 2/3 HP, which allows Kuro to put somewhat of a timeline on EG's pushes. And at the same time, 2 minutes until the Aegis expires, doubt EG will be able to make good use of it yet. Unable to keep all their lanes pushed in to make a concerted effort. And even if they do, they have to deal with the Ancestral Spirit into the Keeper Light blast like we saw earlier. And Lifestealer or no Lifestealer, your team can't get up the hill.
The power of the Keeper of the Light. It's really given Kuroki a nice extra boost of mobility. Hasn't done too much in the fights, but at least for just keeping the lanes out while the anti-mage pushes in the others, he's been effective for that.
BKB up on Zai. How many BKBs does each team have at this point?
4 for EG, 2 for Team Secret. You're up against Double Ravage. I suppose the BKBs become slightly more important.
Yeah, definitely so. Silencer just has to sit way far in the back. He's been dying a couple of times immediately. Sometimes for good reason, like popping the smoke, but
he's one of their 4-staff carries, so it's tough. Like sometimes you can just look at Silencer and say, just stay in the fountain, right? If you're gonna have a big team fight, because he doesn't really do anything else. But
yeah,
with that 4-staff, they kind of want him in the neighborhood. Will EG force this, Ben? Do you think they just tried high ground it right now? There's 1 minute on the Aegis.
The Raxes are exposed right now, so.
Glyph is up, and where in a game where there was once very few buybacks, there's now a lot. 3 for the Dire, plus the Aegis Cheese. If they want to go, they have less than a minute.
It's all on these big initiators. The Bat Rider, the Sand King, the Brewmaster, and the Tidehunter. All of them have potential to make huge plays. Tidehunter with a big double Ravage could just instantly win the team fight, and on the flip side, if they can stop any of those Ravages or perhaps stop Elder Titan from living.
Fear's going to walk up and start hitting buildings. He's got a Rage and a BKB. He'll Rage first. That Glyph gets forced out. Does he continue in with the BKB follow-up? Or does he just sit back and I guess he's got the Aegis for now. There's a heart picked up on the anti-mates. They're in combat mode. Ravage #1 comes through. BKB was out from Fear. He's able to dodge that and continue fighting. Arteezy healthy for now. Turning onto the Brewmaster. They found Kurogi. Kurogi just bought his heart, but he does still have buyback. He's low. He's low. He still lives through it. Manages to retreat out. They can't finish him. They finally got a friggin' range Rax, but that's it. And now their Aegis is down. It was a brew split used, though, as well as 1 Ravage.
The global again came out a little bit too late. He used it right after he blinked. Had they used it half a second before, that would not have been game. Anti-Mage actually did have enough for buyback, but still crippling damage to them.
Yeah, it could have put them in a very commanding position. Instead, Kurogi clings to that slight lead in net worth, albeit with the rest of his team trailing by quite a margin.
Has Silencer made a difference in like 1 or 2 of these fights with Global?
Getting caught out at the Roche pit, I feel like, was the biggest difference.
Specifically with Global, though.
Oh, with Global.
Yeah. I'm trying to think
I don't think so.
If PPD is going to look back at this game and be like, man, I should have picked a different hero other than Silencer that could have made a bigger impact with.
It feels like he could make a big impact.
He could make a big impact, but it's not his
maybe it's just not his hero, you know?
His timing's been off a few times already, which has led to not bad results, but it prevents a really good result from happening at the end of the day.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Still, they at least managed to claim a range Rax. It's just a dent for now, but it's better than nothing. At the same time, Fear is pretty far out bottom lane. They're looking for that Ravage initiation. Will he get it? Rage is there. He dodges. He turns. Uh-oh. Watch out if you fly. The slicing and dicey is beginning. Now they go in. They're using a Brew Split as well. There's a BKB available for Fear. Epicenter comes through the rear from Zai. He did whatever he could. Fear still standing strong. They'll have another Rage relatively soon. The Stomp Bolt Connected gets 4-staffed out. Another Burrow from Zai. They may end up losing Fear here in the end. They will. 400 bounty, but more importantly, the death. And now Kurogi sees some blood in the water. He blinks on top of your Silencer, but there's a Global ready, as well as a Shiva's Guard. That Global will now be popped. That's a good timing for it. These Ghosts need to cooperate and start working on him. He mantas out. Don't tell me he's going to live again. You got to be kidding me with this Kurogi play. Then they recall it back out. He blinks up the hill. He's going to survive again.
And that was a buyback on Lifestealer, too. I mean, where is Arteezy in these fights? I think he needs BOTs at this point. He's just swimming in pools of gold, but just absolutely making no difference in these fights. He shows up way too late. Fear blew through Rage. He went through Infest for a couple of seconds, and then he BKB. That's like a good 16 seconds for him to react, and they really needed his damage to follow up. They just needed a tiny bit more damage on the anti-mage a little earlier in the fight.
He almost got that second Rage off, but just a little bit too much right-click potential, and now Kurogi hones in on his final item.
That was even with like a sick Ravage dodge from Lifestealer too.
Uh-oh. Secret, are they going to find more of these pickoffs? They anchor smash to start. Now Zayas to BKB. He's got a 4-staff at the ready. Burrow straight cooling down in 4. He's got a 4-staff. Blink is available. Into the tree line he goes. And I think he caught them totally off guard. The stomp, Big Daddy knew where he was. The rest of the team thought he was over here. Zai puts on his Nikes and pulls out the jukes.
Nice jukes indeed.
Still, I feel like EG just keep on being in these positions where they're so close to getting picked off. And in that case, he did not have buyback either. That would have been a big death.
What is Arteezy going for with his gold? Oh, looks like a refresher orb. No Scythe of Visa complemented, unfortunately.
Could be his final item if he wants to replace this Yule Scepter.
Yeah.
Which I guess at this point doesn't bring that much to the table. It's always a good item on Death Prophet.
Maybe he should have gone for Scythe instead of the Shivas.
Yeah.
Just because
You are up against Elder Titan.
Fear's the one that's getting focused. They can easily
That's
build the
true.
Vlads if they want to. He also has the AC aura if he really wants more armor. And at the same time, he has BKB. So if they don't ravage him, he can just BKB if Anti-Mage ever decides to initiate on him.
There also has not yet been a situation where, like, if he had a second Exorcism, they could have necessarily done anything. Like, the mid-fight when they were forced back, his Exorcism was still going for a long time. But this does open up the double Hex later on if he goes back for a Scythe device. Batrider will be the first Hex on the board. This gives them a solution, finally, to the Butterfly of Kuroki, which has been effective for a long, long time.
Sand King also has a
Hex, yeah, on the making. Does he have the Mystic Staff yet? No, he's still ways off. But yeah, with Fear opting to skip MKB, he is going for it now, it looks like, with the Demon Edge. But it's a pretty late one. Removing this evasion could make all the difference, though.
Yeah, I didn't like the AC pickup because I think it's all about killing Anti-Mage before he kills you, and
He's
or
about
before
to
he
kill
even
you.
pops from the silences. Actually,
He's 250 gold from his own Abyssal. If EG start getting picked off one at a time, Kuroki's going to run them over. He is now the strongest single hero on the map. Unless he's like tanking Exorcism with nobody to back him up.
man, these fights have just been so close. Anti-Mage has escaped just a couple of times with just a little bit of HP, and that has just propelled his net worth immensely.
Roche will respawn. It's claimed now by EG. Aegis to go to the Lifestealer. And the cheese, let's see, who grabbed it?
bad.
It's Space. Oh, it's, sorry, it's on Universe, yeah.
If Batrider gets a refresher too, that could make all the difference. Double Hex, double Lasso,
Yeah,
pretty darn
for
good.
sure.
And also, even Flame Break is really good at this point since they don't have BKBs on the majority of the damage dealers from Secret, and they can protect Lifestealer a little bit better with that.
Man, these teams are exhausting each other right now. 55 minutes in. They did get a good amount of rest as they're the final game of the day. And they now may have another clash of Titans. Arteezy pushing out the bottom lane. He's got his whole team trooping behind him. At the same time, Kuroki doing the exact same thing top. Who split pushes faster here? We'll see. Kuroki for now just shredding creep waves. At the same time, EG will back off of the bottom lane, and they start just taking the quicker path towards mid. Do they actually just go for the mid melee racks instead? Let's see. They're not spotted. Whereas Secret have not been spotted, though. It's pretty obvious where they are, judging by Kuroki's positioning.
And do they actually not have a gem on them anymore? Silencers is in the stash. Batrider's
They've got
dropped.
one on Sand King.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Yeah. Inventory's become an issue for Universe. May become an issue for everyone at the rate we're headed.
Too much gold.
Loads of money. 56 minutes in, we still don't have a melee Rex down with a Death Prophet and an Anti-Mage who's 6-slotted in the game.
He's playing it more farmy than I think a Death Prophet is usually warranted. Like, her strength isn't 60 minutes into the game. If they wanted to play it like this, he'd be better off playing, like, let's say Shadow Fiend or Invoker at this point, someone that scales much better with items and can still kind of take towers in the process. Invoker at least can.
I don't think PD will ever pick Arteezy Invoker.
I've seen him play it. It's not that bad.
Yeah, PPD doesn't like it though, and he's a very dictator type of captain, you know.
Yeah, I mean, still, you just haven't seen really EG play this style of Dota with a Death Prophet. Usually it's like, okay, we're going to 5-man.
It's more like Vici Gaming or Newbie-esque. Not quite as early, but they go for that, once we have a lead, let's end the game type of play.
And this is just a little bit different and just not as effective, it seems.
And I wonder if it's frustrating them that they haven't been able to close out Secret. Because at one point this game, it feels like a long time ago, they were at 29 minutes, well, maybe more like 30 minutes, with a 12,000 plus gold lead. Full map control. Kuroki had very little at that point. They had their blinks, they had the map control, they had picked up the gem, they had picked them off 3 or 4 times, and slowly Secret have just been finding pickoffs. Most of them have come on the back of the insta-blink Ravages of Fly. And that's why they were forced to go for the BKB on Fear. Just so he would have a way to deal with those Ravages.
And the Elder Titan has proved to be actually pretty darn useful after the laning phase and dying to Universe, of course. But like, he can just drop the ultimate on top of the Lifestealer, and once he burns his Rage, he doesn't really want to tank that because just he's going to be prime target after it hits. He's going to be slowed. He's not going to have Rage, and he's going to have the aura on top of him too. So I don't know. This Elder Titan is proved to be more useful than I thought. The Natural Order is just a very difficult spell to gauge in terms of usefulness, and it certainly did help with that one hold where both of the carries were down.
Very true. EG into their own woods. Secret, this time also moving that way, but they back off again. They just want to wait out this Aegis. And
now 6 slots.
it's only 1 minute. Actually, it's less than that on the Aegis.
Anti-Mage, 6 slots with buyback. Lifestealer can sell his Armlet in only 4 slots, even though he was up on Anti-Mage for the majority of the game. Now Anti-Mage 8,000 more net worth than Fear. Death Prophet, 6 slotted, I guess, for the most part. Maybe sell Yules for Scythe.
Yeah, Kuroki is definitely going to win a man fight against this Lifestealer right now. He actually, I think he has an MKB on the Courier. Oh, just the Demon Edge. So he's close to an MKB, but even then.
He also needs that for Blinding Light, too.
Yeah. That's true. We mentioned the Drunken Haze, the Evasion when he's not raged, and the Drunken Haze when he's not raged, as well as the Evasion, and the Butterfly. But yeah, we didn't mention the Blinding Light. There's a lot of reasons to buy an MKB. Arteezy doesn't care about any of that, of course. That is the one nice thing about Death Prophet.
He is going for Scythe of Ice, too. He has Ultimate Orb already on Chicken.
Yeah, he can go 7 slotted here as well. Just leave the Refresher in the stash, but ideally you want BOTs with that. Just to make sure you can rejoin these fights.
And Secret occupying their favorite spot, the opponent's jungle.
Fear will complete his MKB. We may have a clash soon. Everybody's spending their gold now. Buybacks are dwindling on the side of the Dire. They only have 1. There's 5 on Secret. They actually look like they want to begin a siege as this Aegis will wear off, Ben. They may be taking the fight to EG, confident perhaps now that Kuro's fully 6-slotted. They still have their double Ravage. Everything's ready to go. Okay, never mind. They're going to go back.
Yeah, no Manta Style up. Can't really push it. And that tower is just in prime position for Kuro to take advantage of that later.
Yeah, it's basically free gold, just waiting for him. That's one option Secret have perhaps a bit more than EG is the ability to, if they ever need to, try and just rat this out. Just because this anti-mage is much more difficult to take down than any other hero in the game.
Here we go with a smoking from behind.
Secret are just hugging the tree line. They've got an Observer Ward to cover them, but that won't help you when Arteezy rumbles in. And backup is inbound for PPD. He's going to be the one to reveal them. He's got a global. Still not using it. They pop their Shiva's Guard. I'm not sure if they actually got eyeballs on that, but they have a general idea of where Secret are. The smoke broke. PPD will be instantly assassinated. He does not have buyback. That means no global for this fight. But they found Big Daddy on the back lane. Not the most important hero. Now the BKB from Fear. Kuroki's going to focus him with an Abyssal. The counter Abyssal comes out. Arteezy into the tree line. Finishes off Big Daddy's. The Earth Splitter ends. Now the Ravage on Fear. That's your Ravage number 1. Look for Ravage number 2 if you must. On to Universe, he lassoed Kuroki, but they're still not killing him. They're ignoring this anti-mage who's running rampant in the team fight. Kuroki's just trying to decide who his next target is. Now they're going to Yules him. Arteezy heads to the high ground, and Kuroki leaps in. Mana Void is ready. He's got a Mantle Style too. Does he focus buildings? Let's see. He gets hexed. There's got a secondary exorcism. Will they use it? Shivas, they're just staggering the retreat. Kuroki continues to be at half health through everything. He's not even going to use exorcism. Gets forced half away. The Abyssal Blade's down in 9 seconds. Mana Void almost finished off Universe. Kuroki, though, gets hexed. Then they turn on him. They silence him. They might finally bring this damn anti-mage down. Still silenced. So freaking tanky. They got him. They get 4 in the end. I can't believe they won that fight.
Wow. These hexes on the supports, though, and on the Batrider, is really paying off that EG is able to maximize farm on all their heroes. It's just so important that they have those. And they had to just blow everything. So many cooldowns of Chain and Moth at the end, and that extra exorcism at the end from the refresher really did them in. And now they have another 2 hexes.
Another team fight without a global. It's like, you look at these epic late game 5v5 clashes, you think global might be a deciding factor. Apparently not for EG. He's just a walking ward.
And he had a very nice wraparound at the start,
Oh, Universe was hunting, but couldn't get in range. They really can't go in, though. They don't have anything right now.
Yeah, they really want to force the anti-mage buyback, but that's not happening. They did force S4s, though.
Yeah, every buyback is important at this point. Just having that +1 advantage makes all the difference, even if it's not the most essential hero.
Elder Titan picking up a Lincoln Spear, probably dumping it onto Anti-Mage. Blocks a lot of important spells, but at the same time, oh, I thought they could use it, but it's not on anymore. They can use one of their Force Staffs. It will block Abyssal, though, so Fear has to be a little bit careful about using that on him.
Yeah, between that and the Manta style, he's got some elusive properties. Do we wait for another Roche? What is this, Roche number 5?
Not sure.
I think this is at least our 3rd cheese coming out. Maybe the 4th. I think it's the 5th Roche. It's up in 38 seconds. They did not force the anti-mage buyback, though. Kuroki has 7k gold. He could buy his BOTs. I don't really know if what you'd go for at this point as an anti-mage.
Some people like to sell Battle Fury, but it's actually not that great to sell it at this point, unless you really need something else. But most of the time,
they got another Lincolns. They're just going to throw like triple Lincolns in theory with the refresher on him. Oh, they found Universe. And they're also going to find a lifesteal in the river. This could be huge. As he pops out, Kuroki turns. He already used his Abyssal. They deploy an Exorcism on the high ground. Fly waits for his opening. And in comes Secret right now. Global finally used at a decent time. Will force Secret back, and they turn onto Kuroki. Remember, he still has the buyback, though. Didn't have to use it in the last fight. The Epicenter comes through. Zai comes skating in, but the Ravage is there. Ravage 1 is pretty good, blocking down the back lines. Arteezy now has to fight against the entirety of Secret. He's on the retreat out. Up to the high ground will go. Slowed down. 1 bash will be his downfall. Mana Void will be his downfall. Forget about the bashes. Now onto Fear. Kuro. No, bash against Kuro. Now against Fear. He goes down. The triple for Kuro. 4 heroes dead. Buyback status. Only a Death Prophet. They've got no exorcisms. That might well be GG. They're actually chasing PPD right now. Not sure that's essential. I mean, he's an irrelevant hero.
Yeah, that is game. They can just go for throne at this point, and
they just want to rub it in at this point. Where did it go wrong for EG? They had such a great early lead.
The Force Staffs, again, Secret just did a much better job about protecting their anti-mage than EG did about protecting their Lifestealer. They need like multiple Force Staffs on them. They need precise global timings, and none of that really came through for EG. They seemed a little bit selfish with their Force Staffs.
They're going to get the Aegis and Cheese now. They're actually short on inventory slots. I don't think they realize how few buybacks are up on EG. Or they'd just be going for it, but they're going to take Aegis Cheese and a lane of Rex. It's a completed Mjolnir that Kuroki will send out just so he can throw the buff on a teammate, I imagine. Maybe he replaces the Battle Fury with this. I doubt it, though. And now they'll cave in the mid lane. They'll start bashing on the walls of the top. The shield of this EG base is quickly being overrun. 2 lanes of Rex down for Secret. It's only game 1. But what a comeback. This team just doesn't lose late game, it seems, even to EG, a team who normally is also known for great late game decision making. Again, they fall behind early, and again, they come back into it late. And they're looking at mega creeps now. Kuroki will finish off this 3rd lane of Rex. The Brew Split was used just to zone while they focus buildings. He's sitting on the Mjolnir. He's just a walking demolition crew. He's dropped his boots entirely. He doesn't care about mobility now. It's only about damage output. As Universe leaps in, they hex Kuroki, but then they don't have much follow-up for this. Instead, they're turning on Puppey, who's also kept alive. Mass 4-staff retreat. Carefully crafted by Secret. And this is without S4, who's just chilling in the dire base. He's basically just using their futon for free. Fear still hunting, desperate to get in range for someone. They did burrow straight Kuroki. They cornered him. Remember, even if he dies here, he has buyback anyway. But he just turns around and starts walking at Universe without boots. Blake in, Abyssal Blade, and that's another kill. Again, they lose one. The Ravage connects on two. The Anti-Mage is not going for this, though. Kuroki is slowly but surely throning it. Tier 4's to fall. One down, second next. PPD will go Scepter, Monovoid, GG! EG can't convert on a massive early game advantage, and the Kuroki Anti-Mage again comes through in the end. He ends this game as a Godzilla AM. 42k net worth. Who needs boots when you've got 6 damage items?
Wow. I'm still ever surprised by Secret's mid to late game teamwork. Kuro's escapes, the mass 4-staffs to keep him safe, the blinding lights, the stomps. I mean, they did everything they could to make Anti-Mage a big factor. And on the flip side, EG, they did not play well around Fear at all. The globals, as I said earlier, were ill-timed. The 4-staffs did not come out on time for him. And where was Arteezy in any of these fights? He got 6-slotted, but what does 6-slotted Death Prophet have on a 6-slotted Anti-Mage?
And the supporting cast of Secret seemed a little bit stronger at the end, because the silencer basically had nothing, and a lot of the globals weren't even used. I think when they were used, they were late.
Fly actually got them back in the game too with his Blink Ravages, and that happened
3 or 4 times where they got an instant Blink Ravage on Fear, forced him to go BKB, which really limits his late game punching potential as well. That was a great showing.
That was, and EG's weakness is not being able to end games early, and it seems that Secret has learned that without the Jakiro, without maybe like the Venomancer on their side, they can't break high ground, and even if they can, they don't have the confidence to do so.
What a game 1 it was. Guys, it's only game 1 though. It's a best of 3. We're going to take a very quick break here, and as soon as we return, we break down this game 1, we hop into game 2, and we get ready to see if Secret make it a clean 2-0 sweep, go to the grand finals, or if EG can force a game 3. Stay tuned. You're watching Starladder Season 10, the winner bracket finals, continuing right after this.